All right. Hello, everyone. This is Leoncio Montemayor, project manager at Solarplaza. And today I am joined by Otto Elger, who is a business developer at Celsia. Hi, Otto. How are you?
Hi, Leoncio. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks. And thanks for taking the time for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Perfect. So today we will quickly do a snapshot interview to Otto, and we're doing this as part of our virtual event, Solar Pulse Latam, which will happen the 8th and 9th of September in our virtual event platform. Otto will be part of session number 3 called Reformulating Business Models, where we'll be talking about PPA contracts, forecasting energy prices, demand curves, and how the business models for solar are changing in Latin America. So for the audience, for those who are listening, please make sure to give us your questions so that you can have an active input into the discussions around this event. Otto, thanks again for being here. Can you tell me a little bit about the trajectory of Celsia in Colombia, investing in, of course, in renewable energy, and how do you see the opportunities for Celsia in Colombia?
Perfect. So Celsia's trajectory in renewables in the Colombian market officially started with the construction of which was the first utility scale solar project in Colombia. It was a 10 megawatt project we built in 2017, and it currently has a PPA with a large industrial client. We currently have 3 projects under operations in Colombia for a total of 28 megawatts. And we also expect to start building around 140 megawatts more this year. We see many opportunities for solar in the Colombian market, both for DG and utility scale. And we are working hard in order to make Celsia one of the relevant players in the industry. In that sense, we currently have a pipeline of roughly 800 megawatts under development and are working on some other projects in earlier phases as well. Finally, I would mention that we have a large wind project of 330 megawatts under development as well, which was awarded some of the contracts in the auction that was managed by the government last year.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's fascinating and quite a huge pipeline. And I do know actually that Celsius 10 megawatt plant was actually the first plant, the first solar plant, right, built in Colombia. And if I'm not mistaken, it was also very symbolic because it was built in the same land as an old thermonuclear plant or something like this, no?
A coal-fired plant actually that was under operation until the 70s.
Yeah.
So that was pretty symbolic for us.
Yeah.
Changing what used to be a coal power plant into a solar farm.
Yeah, exactly. I think that brings a new hope for the energy transition.
Exactly.
And when you were mentioning about the big pipeline that Celsia has, I mean, what are some of the, let's say, current challenges, or what are some obstacles that you foresee in developing this pipeline?
We've had some difficulties, especially with the pandemic in the last couple of months. I would say the main one has been the volatility of the exchange rate. You know that these projects are 70% of the capex is dollar-based mostly.
Yeah.
So that volatility has been challenging for the projects, and we've also had some limitations and some restrictions that have been imposed by the municipalities where we have projects under development. I would say those are the main challenges that we're having due to the pandemic.
Yeah.
We've had some challenges with permits with the different entities, but we see that getting better and better each time.
Okay, I see. And have you found any challenges, for example, with regards to the land use, like environmental permits and these kind of challenges as well in Colombia?
Regarding land use, we've done okay. We had challenges at first with the owners of land that weren't necessarily interested in signing long term contracts, but that has been changing a bit. And regarding permits, I would say that the main challenge has been more related to the interconnection permits due to the huge amount of projects that have been asking for interconnection rights in the country.
Yeah. Okay, I see. And yeah, indeed, you mentioned that for your projects, you signed the PPA. How do you see the PPA appetite of off-takers changing due to the pandemic?
Well, regarding the pandemic, we saw, I would say, March and April, or I would say April and May were 2 months where we saw that our clients were a bit reluctant when it came to signing new contracts, but that has been changing a little bit. And we as Celsia, we actually serve a huge amount of clients. We have like about 1.2 million clients in the country. So we, being a utility company, are not necessarily dependent on signing PPAs for specific projects. So that's a mix. However, in the last couple of months, we've seen that clients are more and more interested in coming back and signing contracts again after things have stabilized a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I see. And besides, let's say PPAs and of course using the own energy for your own retail, do you see, for example, a possibility for a different type of business model to emerge from all of this, such as merchant solar, for example?
Well, merchant solar, we think it's a bit risky, but we do work with shorter term contracts. We have a pool of different contracts, so that's something we're comfortable with, and we're not necessarily dependent on signing 10-year contracts for specific projects, but we use I would say the mix of contracts that we have as part of our portfolio.
Okay, I see. And what about well, because I'm not sure, but maybe you can tell me a little bit about it. But how does energy storage come into play? Is this something that you at Celsia are considering for your development?
That's something we've been looking at for the last couple of years. It has been challenging to make the numbers pencil in Colombia, and we don't necessarily see that the opportunity is going to come from the generation side, since there's not a capacity market, and it's a bit challenging to make it work. But there are a few projects for storage on the grid side that I think that would be perhaps the easier way for storage to come to the Colombian market.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, if we take a look, of course, I mean, Colombia is now quite a hotspot for development across Latin America. The current government has set out some ambitious goals in terms of renewable energy. What do you think are some of the key ingredients for the maturation of the development of these solar projects in Colombia?
I would say that the main one has actually been the way that the government has been able to respond to this flooding of new projects. At first, I think it was just too much, and they received so many interconnection projects looking for interconnection rights, which resulted in grid congestion of projects that may not even get built. So they have been working on trying to figure out how to actually make sure that the projects that have the most probabilities of being successful get the interconnection rights. So they've been working on that, and I think it's going to be key in order to have more and more projects coming in line. Also, I think that as part of the maturation of the sector in Colombia is that we expect to see more and more contractors, CPC providers coming to the market, which is going to help the whole industry to mature, and it's going to make our projects more and more competitive. So I think that's going to be a key ingredient as well, and we expect to see that as we start developing larger projects.
Yeah. Okay. Indeed, I would expect a consolidation of the market as the projects start increasing in both quantity and size. No.
Exactly.
And more players start also joining the development. No.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that sounds good. With this in mind, what do you expect from the industry in the coming 2-3 years in the short term? Do you see any big change, or is it all gonna be gradual? What are your industry expectations for the coming year?
I would expect to see a lot of movement in the next 3 years. Talking about Celsia, we expect to start building larger projects. We started with smaller projects, which are easier in terms of permits and so on. But we would expect to start building larger and larger projects from this year onwards. And we see that in other players as well. So I think in the next couple of years, 2-3 years, the energy matrix of Colombia is going to look quite different than it does today. And we should start seeing the larger projects from the previous auction under construction or coming in line as well.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. And with that, I would like to round off the interview. Otto, thanks for taking this time. Anything that you're looking forward for the event for Solar Pulse Latam, or anything you'd like to tell to the audience who are listening to us right now?
No, I'm basically looking forward to meeting new people. Happy to talk. We're always looking for new opportunities, meeting new potential customers, suppliers, project developers. So I'm happy to talk to you.
Perfect. Well, I would say that the virtual event platform will allow for these virtual networking opportunities.
Awesome.
And we have a complete program ready to go. So don't miss. Otto will be joining us for session number 3, reformulating business models. So looking forward to that conversation. Otto, it has been a great pleasure talking with you today. I hope to see you virtually in the 8th and 9th of September. Thanks a lot for your time, and I hope you have a nice day.
Thank you. I'll see you.
Thank you.